is Luke, and today hello, my name is Luke, and this is my podcast, Religion and Pop Culture. Today I will be joined by two specialists in this field, Leia and Marilyn. Do you want to say something? Okay, perfect. So today we will be discussing My Little Pony and religion. So let's begin. My Little Pony Friendship is Magic started airing in 2010, and through its deep and extensive plot and lore, it aimed to teach valuable life lessons, morals, and values to its young audience. The show follows the main six characters which all represent an element of harmony. These are honesty, kindness, loyalty, generosity, laughter, and most importantly, magic. In this world, the rulers are the princesses, which are the most powerful beings in this world. They are alicorns, and due to their very extensive lifespan and their status as princesses and rulers of the entirety of Equestria, this has led to sun worship and many religious holidays to be surrounded around them. They are mostly thought of as mythological creatures by the ponies that live in Equestria, and throughout the show there's multiple holidays to be shown to be in worship and based on real life religious celebrations, such as the summer sun celebration, similar to summer solstice. And in the summer solstice and My Little Pony, there is a goddess being praised and worshipped, the sun princess, along with more religious holidays such as Christmas. My Little Pony has several religious and spiritual themes woven into its storytelling. While the show itself is not explicitly religious, there's a lot of subtext and unconscious things that have led to religious ties. It includes elements that align with various religious teachings, philosophies, and different mythologies. Many values seen in religion are taught by the show, such as the elements of harmony, which can be compared to the religious virtues from Christianity and Buddhism. From Christianity, the elements of harmony resemble the fruits of the Spirit from Galatians 5:22-23, and in Buddhism, the elements also reflects aspects of the Eightfold Path, such as right speech, right action, and right effort, which are part of the Buddhist teachings. In an episode of My Little Pony, the legend of the Pillars of Equestria is talked about, and their mystical powers reflect religious legends about saints or prophets who left behind wisdom and relics, such as the apostles in Christianity or the bodhisattvas in Buddhism. Ancient mythology can also be tied to My Little Pony, and it is technically also a religion. My Little Pony features many sacred objects and virtues needed to restore balance, similar to ancient mythologies. While there is no formal god in My Little Pony, belief in higher powers and unseen forces play a role in the show, especially with Celestia being a godlike figure. She's a benevolent ruler loved by all of her people and has lived for maybe hundreds of years. She is seen with a godlike presence and seen to be worshipped and treated like a goddess. This can be reflected to the ancient belief in ancient Egypt that the rulers were themselves gods, and this has led to some fans jokingly and seriously treating her like a religious figure and creating the Church of Celestia in online groups. Another reason that this can be compared to religion is the use of magic as a divine force. In My Little Pony, the magic functions similarly to divine grace or faith. Uniting ponies and guiding them towards the greater good is the goal of the powers that the ponies are given to protect themselves, which can be compared to multiple religious scriptures which reveal that God have given powers or something to help the ponies defend themselves, the people defend themselves. they really liked that episode. Okay, moving on to prophecies and destiny. Many episodes focus on fulfilling destinies, such as Twilight Sparkle's, the main character, ascension to being a princess, which mirrors divine callings in religious texts. She was chosen and it was her destiny, so she became a princess. It portrays the chosen one mentality that is also seen in multiple religions and in a lot of themes in pop culture. So an article I found speaks on the reaction of the fandom to religious ideas in the show My Little Pony, and more specifically talks about bronies possibly being part of a cult. It is up to interpretation whether the fandom can be considered a religion or if every fandom is a religion, but maybe this one is a little too extreme for some people. But however, it is also important to keep in mind that bronies have been misrepresented in media, and the bronies that have done questionable actions in the past that have led to their infamous reputation are a minority amongst the fandom. But for this example, some bronies treat My Little Pony almost religiously, incorporating pony characters into their personal philosophy and lifestyle, which has sadly led to ties that a brony had to My Little Pony fandom, to his therefore actions doing a shooting. But another good example is the Church of Celestia, which was a real online movement where some bronies jokingly or seriously worship Princess Celestia, and they create a deep emotional bond around the show. The bronies are known to gather at conventions such as BronyCon, which had thousands of attendees, and it also compares how fans of cult-like religious groups identify more with their community than the mainstream society, which has been seen as a personality in bronies. But moving on, I also found an article defending the bronies. It was called Religion and the Pathologization of Fandom, Religion, Reason, and Controversy in My Little Pony by A. Cromie examines how adult fans of My Little Pony respond to comparisons between their fandom and religious devotion. Because the fandom is frequently portrayed as irrational by these parallels, fans tend to highlight the logical elements of their fandom in an effort to refute this idea that all bronies are bad. The controversy started around a 2011 episode, Feeling Pinky Keen, which some fans perceived as endorsing faith over science. In response, several bronies reinterpreted the episode as a criticism of the subpar scientific method and emphasized their role as cultural gatekeepers, working to shield the viewers and the young audience from misrepresentation of the show and from ideological messaging that would be a kid's show saying that faith is better than science. And by ignoring the variety of fan reactions and the nuanced ways in which fans navigate their identities in public, this article explains that equating fandom with religion might pathologize both. As religion is viewed as a way of living, people have thought that anything can be a religion. However, I believe personally that religion is something very spiritual and personal to a person, and simply really liking something does not mean that you believe in this so unconditionally that it can give you a meaning to your life like religion does. But in conclusion, the show My Little Pony has been a part of pop culture for 15 years now, and it has been mixed with religion over and over again, with bronies being portrayed as a cult in media and bronies trying to defend themselves, but also the show and its ties to religion itself. Although the bronies might refute this, there is proof of My Little Pony having religious ideals and values portrayed in the show, as even their core values of the elements of harmony are very similar to the values you might hear in a religious text. But also, keeping in mind that this is a kids show, you can't expect to read too much into it without finding something, because the show creators probably didn't even think about that. The show has attracted many different kinds of opinions. Whether the show means or doesn't mean to be religious it still is. It still portrays multiple religious views, and it does focus on faith and magic and believing in the godlike deities that will protect you, as this is most of the show's plot. However, I believe that the bronies are not a religion, and they don't deserve to be hated for it. Thank you so much for coming to my podcast. I hope you enjoyed this. The sources will be linked down below. Thank you.